Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today, the murder of Patrolman Scott Bashioum, Canonsburg Borough Police Department, Pennsylvania.
On scene. 5976, they said you passed the house up. Go ahead, 4831.
Clear, hang on those numbers. Where are they headed to?
120 Woodcrest. That's up off of Woodland Road, like Oak Spring Road area side, between Oak Spring and Ridge. It's up behind Town Park.
6930, line me up.
Okay. Shots fired, shots fired. Any available unit respond to Canonsburg behind Town Park, Woodcrest Road, shots fired.
Pretty sure I'm coming up on scene. I got multiple shots being fired.
10-4, multiple shots. Any available police officer respond, Woodcrest Road, Canonsburg.
Folks, we're going to be in the borough of Canonsburg. Now, that's just a rock's throw away from Pittsburgh. Now, the town's only got about 9,000 residents. Now, Patrolman Bashioum was 52 years old. He had 7 years with the Canonsburg Police Department. He was a Air Force veteran. He was married and he had 4 kids. Now, our suspect, according to his defense attorney, said the suspect had some run-ins with law enforcement, usually centered around domestic violence. Now, the suspect, who had died during this incident, but not before killing Patrolman Bashioum and killing his girlfriend. At least that's how his attorney described her. Now, as we'll hear later from the chief during a press conference, and in fact even the medical examiner listed her as the wife. Either way, she was pregnant, carrying the suspect's child. Now, the suspect had been through anger management classes and was required to get a mental health evaluation. I don't know if that ever occurred. Now, according to neighbors, they said the police were called out there quite often to the duplex where the couple lived. Now, the chief of Canonsburg, he confirmed to the media that the suspect was known to local police, and he didn't go into any detail. Now, the female, whether it be wife or girlfriend, she had a protection from abuse order against the suspect. But I swear those court orders, they seem to attract the abusive spouse like a moth to a light. Female had relayed to the suspect's attorney that she was having trouble with him again. According to him, he had told her, get that order of protection. He said he couldn't do anything further because the suspect was his client. It's November 10th, 2016, somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning. Neighbor called the police and advised there was a loud disturbance at the duplex occupied by the female, and that it was obvious that the suspect was on the scene. Now, that was at 120 Woodcrest. Now, the way those duplexes are set up, they're positioned on the side of a hill, and they're 2 stories. So the height advantage for anyone inside the duplex looking down from the windows is great. For a police officer trying to make that scene, you are in a bad position. Now, according to the chief during the press conference, the 2 officers got there just about at the same time. Now, Officer Bashioum, he got out of his vehicle and was walking towards the duplex. He was in the yard, is my understanding. Now, the suspect was sitting there at the second floor window, and he was armed with a rifle. Now, he starts cranking off rounds at the police. Officer Bashioum is hit twice. Now, according to the chief, despite being hit twice with rifle rounds, Officer Bashioum was able to empty his magazine from his pistol into the window where the fire was coming. Now, his partner on that call was hit once. Now, the resource material and the chief both mentioned the fact that the partner had not gotten out of the car, which I'm going to take what the chief said. If the chief says the second officer was still in the car, then he was still in the car. Now, the supervisor, a sergeant, who I believe you can hear him on the radio from the radio transmissions, he sees Officer Bashioum is down in the yard, and obviously Officer Bashioum is still in direct line of fire. Now, the sergeant, he pulls his patrol vehicle, uses it to try to shield Officer Bashioum. Now, he's able to get Officer Bashioum partially into his vehicle. Now, two other officers from different townships that pulled up to assist, they were able to help get Officer Bashioum into the patrol vehicle. Now, Officer Bashioum was taken to Canonsburg Hospital. Now, he died within the hour. Now, this same sergeant got another patrol vehicle. He again drove into the line of fire to where the wounded officer was. That wounded officer was seated on a curb there on the street. Sergeant got the wounded officer in the patrol vehicle. They were able to get him out and get him to the hospital there in Canonsburg. And he was later flown to a hospital there in Pittsburgh. That officer survived. Now, the suspect directed some of his gunfire at a vehicle that was parked on the street in front of the duplex. Now, later, police would examine that vehicle and find out that it was loaded with gasoline cans and propane and acetylene tanks. And evidently, the suspect was shooting at that vehicle in hopes it would blow up and take out more first responders. Fortunately, it did not ignite. Now, as you might guess, every department in the area sent people. And they brought in a TAC unit, and they brought in their armored car. They were able to get the residents surrounded. Now, luckily, they had use of a robot. The robot into the residence first. Now, when the robot went in the residence, of course, the door it went through was left open. Later, authorities would find that there was lit acetylene torches inside the residence. But because the door was left open by the robot, the gas was able to escape out of the house. Now, authorities were able to finally make the house safe, the residence safe. Now, they went up on the second floor, and they found the suspect. He was dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to the coroner. And the female, the pregnant female, she was dead from a gunshot wound from the weapon that the suspect had. I don't know much about this fella, but from what I read, the suspect is an unmitigated coward. Took the life of 3 human beings.
Washington Control Unit 6976. Washington Control 69 Badge 103, Officer Bashioum. Washington Control 69 Badge 103, Officer Scott Bashioum. Washington Control Badge 103, Officer Scott Bashioum has now ended his tour.
Patrolman Scott Leslie Bashioum. End of watch, November 10th, 2016.